Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English with Podcasts, the digital home for your language transformation. I'm Emma.
And I'm Leo. Emma, I have to ask, have you looked at your screen time report lately? Because mine is telling me that I am living 90% of my life through a glass rectangle. I feel like I'm becoming part of the hardware.
You aren't alone, Leo. We've entered a world where our office is a laptop, our meeting room is a kitchen table, and our coworkers are faces on a screen from 5 different time zones. It's a paradigm shift in the way humanity handles productivity.
It's a complete revolution in how we work. But here is the craze I'm seeing right now. People are realizing that their school English is failing them in this new global office. They can write a perfect essay, but they are drowning in Slack messages and freezing up on Zoom calls when 3 people talk at once.
Exactly. There's a huge disconnect. You might have perfect grammar, but if you don't understand virtual etiquette or how to be concise in a fast-moving chat, you're going to get left behind. It's about more than just words. It's about digital agility.
Left behind, that's a scary thought in such a competitive market. But that's why we are here today. We are talking about future-proofing your English. This isn't just about learning vocabulary, it's about mastering digital survival skills and professional charisma for your career.
We're going to teach you how to articulate complex ideas clearly across oceans, how to collaborate without the need for constant, exhausting meetings, and how to make sure your voice is heard and respected even when you're 5,000 miles away.
This is a high-stakes guide for the modern professional. From the async advantage to cultural fluency, we are breaking it all down. So put on your high-quality headset, silence your phone, and turn off your notifications. It's time to level up your future.
Let's start with the big picture. Why is traditional English not enough for the global office?
Because in a remote setting, context is often missing. You can't see the other person's full body language easily. You can't read the room by sensing the energy in the air. You only have a small box on a screen.
Right. Traditional English teaches you how to speak to one person standing in front of you, but global English requires you to understand cultural nuance and technical brevity. For example, how a colleague in Germany gives feedback might be very direct, while someone in Japan might be more implicit.
Future-proofing means building a versatile toolkit. It's about being adaptable. If you can communicate effectively in a remote-first world, your career is bulletproof. You aren't just a worker, you are a global communicator.
Now, let's dive into the first major skill, the async advantage. This refers to asynchronous communication.
That's a $10 word. Asynchronous simply means not happening at the same time. Think of emails, Slack, Teams, or recorded Loom videos. It's the backbone of the modern workspace.
This is the superpower of remote work. It allows people to work when they are most productive, but the problem is many people use async communication to create noise instead of clarity. They send 50 messages when one would do.
Ugh, I know the type. We've all seen those Slack messages that just say, hi, and then you wait and wait for the actual question. That's a productivity killer. It's inefficient.
Instead, you should aim for maximum impact with minimum friction. For beginners, this means being clear and concise. For advanced learners, it's about strategic messaging.
Use bullet points. Use bold text for key deadlines. Instead of a long, wandering paragraph, try a structured approach. For example, action item. Please review the draft by 5 p.m. EST today so we can meet our deadline.
Action item. That's a brilliant phrase. It tells the reader exactly what they need to do. It removes the guesswork. And don't forget the art of the update.
Instead of asking for a 30-minute meeting just to say what you did, send a status update. I've finalized the report and it's now under review by the legal department.
Finalized and under review. These are precise status verbs. They keep everyone in the loop without cluttering their calendar.
Now, let's move to the most nerve-wracking part of remote work, the virtual voice. Online meetings on Zoom, Google Meet, or Microsoft Teams.
This is where even advanced learners falter or lose their nerve. It's hard to interrupt politely on a video call without sounding rude. It's hard to know when the floor is yours.
You need to master active listening. In a remote setting, this means using verbal and visual cues to show you're engaged. Nod your head. Use phrases like, I see your point, or that aligns perfectly with our Q3 goals.
And what about virtual presence? Even if you are working from a home office or a co-working space, you need to project confidence.
Projecting confidence involves your nonverbal cues. Look directly at the camera lens, not just at the faces on the screen. It makes the other person feel like you are making eye contact. It builds trust.
If you are facilitating or leading a discussion, use inclusive language to manage the digital flow. I'd love to loop in Maria on this, or let's circle back to David's point after we finish the slide.
Loop in and circle back are essential phrasal verbs for the digital workspace. They help you navigate the conversation like a pro.
Let's talk about a common hurdle, the technical glitch. Your internet drops or your microphone malfunctions.
Don't lose your cool. Use it as an opportunity to show professionalism under pressure. Apologies for the lag. Can everyone hear me now? Or, I seem to be having connectivity issues. Let me resync my audio.
Using the right technical vocabulary during a glitch makes you look tech-savvy and composed rather than overwhelmed.
Now, let's go deeper into navigating nuance. This is the high-level stuff. This is where we talk about cultural fluency.
This is the secret sauce of successful global collaboration. You need to be able to decode implicit communication. This means understanding what is not being said in the lines of an email.
In some cultures, like the US or Australia, people can be quite direct. If they don't like an idea, they might say, I'm not sure that will work. In other cultures, they might say, that is a very interesting suggestion, which actually means no.
Interesting is often a euphemism for I disagree. You have to be perceptive to these cultural signals.
And then there is feedback. Giving and receiving feedback across borders is like walking a tightrope. You don't want to be too blunt and cause offense, but you can't be too vague either.
Use the sandwich method for feedback. It's a classic diplomatic strategy. Start with positive reinforcement, give the constructive criticism, and end with an actionable positive note.
For example, I really admired the creativity in this proposal. However, the budget figures seem a bit inflated. If we realign those costs, I think we have a winning strategy.
Admired, inflated, and realign. Those are sophisticated words that show you are a critical thinker, but also a team player.
We also need strategic politeness. This is about balancing efficiency with empathy, especially in written form. A short email can sound curt or angry, even if you were just in a hurry.
Use softeners to cushion your requests. I was wondering if, or would it be possible to?
I was wondering if you've had a moment to look over the file. It's a nudge, but it's a gentle one. It shows you respect their work-life balance.
Now, how do we turn these skills into a career catalyst? How do they help you get that promotion or that pay raise?
A catalyst is something that causes a massive change. Good communication is the engine of your career. If your boss feels informed and your team feels supported by your English, you become indispensable.
You can showcase these skills during performance reviews or interviews. If you are interviewing for a remote role, how you handle the video interview is your litmus test.
Litmus test means a decisive test of quality. If you are articulate, punctual on the call, and organized in your follow-up, they know you will be a star in the remote team.
And don't forget global networking. You can build a network of mentors in London, Tokyo, and New York from your living room, but you need clarity and impact to get their attention.
Reach out on LinkedIn with a tailored and compelling message. I followed your recent keynote on digital transformation and found your insights on asynchronous culture to be groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking means innovative and pioneering. It's a high-level compliment that opens doors.
To really master this, you need to understand the psychology of digital space. When we communicate through text, we lose the vocal tone that tells us if someone is joking or serious.
That's why emojis and exclamation points have actually become professional tools. In a remote context, a period at the end of a short sentence can sometimes sound aggressive to a coworker.
I've felt that. If Emma sends me a message saying fine with a period, I start wondering if I did something wrong. But if she says fine or adds a smiley face, I know we're on the same page.
On the same page, another great idiom. It means we agree or have the same understanding. In remote work, over communicating your intent is better than leaving it to interpretation.
Interpretation is risky. You want your communication to be unambiguous. That means it can only be understood in one way.
Let's talk about the virtual water cooler. In an office, you have incidental conversations while getting coffee. In a remote world, you have to engineer those moments.
Engineering social connection. That sounds very technical, but it's just about building rapport. You can start a meeting with, "How was your weekend?" or "How is the weather in your neck of the woods?"
Your neck of the woods is a fun way to say your area or where you live. It makes the digital divide feel smaller. It humanizes the interface.
And don't be afraid to share a little vulnerability. If your cat walks across your keyboard or your neighbor starts drilling into a wall, address it with humor.
It seems my assistant is looking for attention, or apologies for the background noise. My neighbor is remodeling. It breaks the tension.
Let's discuss deep work versus hyper-responsiveness. Many people think future-proof English means answering every message in 1 second.
But that's a trap. It leads to burnout. You need to set boundaries. Use status indicators on Slack, focusing on a deep task back at 3 p.m.
Using the word focusing shows you are being intentional with your time. It's a professional boundary that colleagues will respect.
Now, Leo, what about cross-functional collaboration? This is when you work with people from different departments, like a developer talking to a marketer.
That's a linguistic challenge. Each department has its own lingo or jargon. A developer talks about deployment, while a marketer talks about conversion.
To be future-proof, you need to be a translator. You need to be able to explain technical concepts in layman's terms.
Layman's terms mean simple language that anyone can understand. If you can explain a complex algorithm using simple English metaphors, you are a visionary leader.
Let's look at the future of meetings. We are moving toward VR offices and AI-assisted transcripts.
AI can help with grammar, but it can't help with emotional intelligence or EQ. AI can't tell you how to empathize with a coworker who had a rough day.
Exactly. Your human touch is what makes you irreplaceable. Your English should reflect your personality. Don't be a robot.
Authenticity is the ultimate competitive advantage. People don't just hire skills, they hire people they like working with.
So, what is the action plan for our listeners today? We don't just want you to listen, we want you to execute.
Step 1. Audit your digital tone. Go back and read your last 5 emails. Do they sound professional or hasty? Could they be condensed? Step 2. Practice virtual presence. Record yourself giving a 2-minute update. Check your eye contact with the camera and your vocal clarity.
Step 3. Master jargon. Learn 5 new business phrasal verbs every week and try to incorporate them into your Slack messages.
Let's do a final vocabulary power-up. For beginners, call, screen, mute, link, chat. For intermediate, collaborate, deadline, objective, feedback, update. For advanced, asynchronous, nuance, facilitate, diplomacy, articulate, agility.
Agility, the ability to move quickly and easily. In this market, communication agility is our greatest asset.
It sounds so much more strategic than saying, "I can talk fast." We want you to be the architects of your own career. The global office has no borders, which means your potential has no ceiling.
No ceiling. That means there is no limit to how high you can go.
We want to hear from you. What is your biggest pain point in remote work? Do you struggle with small talk or technical vocabulary?
Let us know in the comments. We read every single one, and your input helps us shape future episodes.
Thank you for joining us in this virtual classroom. Your commitment to learning is inspiring.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your remote colleagues. Let's elevate the standard of global communication together.
This was Emma and Leo. Keep your sync tight and your async clear.
Stay future-proof, everyone. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.